So there's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and that's Social Security.
Well, I fully support Social Security.
I fully support Social Security.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Seeing that Bernie Sanders is talking about raising the cap on Social Security and expanding benefits to people.
You don't cut Social Security, you expand it. And the way you expand it is by lifting the cap on taxable incomes so that you do away with the absurdity of a millionaire paying the same amount into the system as somebody making $118,000. You do that, Social Security is solvent until 2061, and you can expand that.
If you lift the cap completely, that is a $1 trillion tax increase. I don't think we need to do that.
This has kind of galvanized the discussion around it. So you hear a ton of different proposals. You see that the Republicans want to privatize it, which basically will end Social Security. It will make it not effective. And then you have plans from individuals such as Hillary Clinton, who she wants to, well, she implied anyways, that she wants to means test Social Security.
I want to enhance the benefits for the poorest recipients of Social Security. We have a lot of women on Social Security, particularly widowed and single women who didn't make a lot of money during their careers, and they are impoverished, and they need more help from the Social Security system. And I will focus on helping those people who need it the most.
You have to reform Social Security, and the simple way to do it is to make sure that the wealthiest don't receive the same benefits as people that are lower income.
In theory, I think that this is something that's intuitive. I'm philosophically in favor of it, but when it comes to whether or not I'm for or against it, I'm against it for pragmatic purposes. Now, let's be frank here. You can't trust the Republicans with your Social Security. You can't trust Democrats with your Social Security, because the idea of privatizing Social Security, well, it came up with the Reagan Revolution. Reagan was the first one who really wanted to privatize Social Security, but he couldn't do that because there was mass outrage by labor unions, by senior citizens and whatnot. And it's a very popular program. Now, the second attempt came from Bill Clinton. He also wanted to privatize Social Security. Yes, a Democrat. But what kind of happened was there was a big committee that was set up for about 18 months to where they were kind of discussing how they would go about doing this. But thankfully, Monica Lewinsky, she saved Social Security, figuratively speaking, that is, because it was that scandal that had kind of got him to stop pushing for privatization, because he knew that it would be a tough political battle and he didn't want to lose any more favor among the American public. So what we have now is we have a new strategy to undermine the confidence of Social Security. So means testing Social Security means that it becomes a welfare program. Now, what happens to a welfare program? Well, people hate it. The term welfare, it polls terribly, even though individuals are in favor of social safety net programs, generally speaking. Well, when you poll them and use that term welfare, it's toxic. So if you transform Social Security into a welfare program, well, then basically you undermine the public approval for it. People will start hating it. The middle class, who won't benefit from it as much, well, they'll hate it too. And privatization, I mean, you just won't get the same amount of benefits. There are political scientists who have done the math, and if you privatize it, you get way less benefits. So senior citizens will be in poverty much more than they already are. So when it comes to Democratic candidates, and Hillary Clinton specifically, talking about how she wants to means test Social Security, let's not fall for that trap, because she knows what she's doing. This is a calculated strategy that's been in existence since the Reagan era. What they want to do is they want to divide people who are in favor of Social Security and mobilize the opponents of Social Security. I'm talking about the banks, the financial services industry. They all are trying to privatize Social Security. Now, they kind of had a two-pronged strategy here. Not only are they going to divide and conquer, but they're also going to undermine confidence. So they're going to say that you're getting robbed, like Chris Christie did, where if you're young, if you're my age, well, guess what? You're getting robbed because you're not getting that money back when you're older.
The government has lied to you, and they have stolen from you.
I wonder if he know that I know he's lying right now.
That's nonsense. We have a surplus right now. Social Security isn't going anywhere, but they like to push that false narrative that it is. Now, furthermore, if we means test Social Security, as I stated, that will turn public opinion against it. But this is a really sneaky trick that they're doing here, guys. We have to be careful, because by means testing it, everybody is in favor of that. This is technically a progressive thing, right? I mean, if you give more to the poor, it's a redistributive principle. And that's what, a lot of individuals who are more inclined to like Bernie Sanders or more inclined to be liberal or vote Democrat are going to be in favor of. But by doing this, people begin to hate Social Security. And when they hate Social Security, they reach their ultimate goal. That is to privatize Social Security, or as George W. Bush tried to do, he tried to partially privatize Social Security. So Democrats and Republicans alike are all after Social Security. Why? Because of their donors. The people who will benefit and profit from privatization are the banks. Who's Hillary Clinton's biggest donors, that is? They're the financial services industry. So do you think that she's trying to, quote, save Social Security by trying to make it more fair and means test it? No. She is trying to start something that will benefit the banks and the financial services industry later on down the line. See, if you make it a means-tested program, then, more middle class, more upper class people won't get it. And then they're going to hate it. And then slowly but surely, Social Security will be viewed as a welfare program. And then what happens? Well, this public outrage that has basically kept Social Security intact through Reagan, through Clinton, not necessarily almost through Clinton because Monica Lewinsky did, but through George W. Bush. Because of the public outrage, they stopped Social Security from being privatized. But if we can slowly but surely undermine public support for Social Security, guess what happens? Later on down the line, not immediately, but maybe 10, maybe 20 years, public support goes down, and then what happens? They privatize Social Security. The backlash that they would get for trying to destroy Social Security by privatizing it, it would be intense. So if they undermine that, if they get people to lack confidence in it, that's a big problem. So we need to be very wary when we start talking about means testing Social Security. Now, furthermore, Bernie Sanders' plan is the best for Social Security because by lifting the cap, see, if you make over a certain amount, I believe it's over $100,000, there's a specific number. I'll put it on the screen here, but if you make over a certain amount, well, you don't pay into Social Security. But by lifting that cap and making everyone pay into it, even the billionaires and whatnot, and still allowing everyone to receive Social Security, well, then not only do you save it into the far future, but you increase public support of it. So that's how you can really save Social Security. So don't let these Democratic politicians who are supposedly fighting for your rights lie to you.
I fully support Social Security.
Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
They want their hands in the cookie jar, or more specifically, their donors, who are the banks, who are the financial services industry, Wall Street. Well, they want to dip into that cookie jar, even if it's just partially privatizing it. They want the profits, man. That's what they want. That's what drives them. So we've got to be careful. You've got to put pressure on them. You need to make sure that whoever you're voting for this election cycle, you need to make sure that they know that you want them to keep their hands off of your Social Security, because right now it's solvent until 2037, and we have a surplus.